Hello, my name is Jonathan Brown from the Reynolds School of Journalism. I'm here with my guest, Naomi Duerr. Hello, Naomi.
Hi, how you doing, Jonathan?
I'm fine, and you?
Great, love to be here.
Thank you for agreeing to help us with this project. So, I see that you came to Reno when you were 20 years old.
I was, yeah.
What aspects of the city made you fall in love with it and decide to call Reno your home?
You know, I came for a vacation and stayed for my life. I moved to visit my father. He worked at he taught at the medical school and started the research center at the VA. And within 2 weeks, I was up hiking at Desolation Wilderness. I had already transferred my major to geology, so it was like a perfect environment for me. And what really impressed me about Reno was how sunny it was, how friendly the people were, and it was like the land of opportunity. So I made it my home, and I'm so glad I did.
That's great. I'm glad that you enjoy your time here in the city of Reno. So I see you said you went to the University of Nevada, yes?
Yes.
And your major was geology?
It was.
What made you decide to choose geology as your major?
Well, I loved being outdoors, and earlier in my career I had selected chemistry as my major. I was really good at chemistry and science, and I thought, well, I'll be able to apply that. My ultimate goal was to be an oceanographer. But I had an opportunity to come out here. I actually took a prospecting course that first summer I was here with the dean of the School of Mines, and I was hooked on hard rock geology, which is a very different career path than oceanography. At any rate, I love the rocks, I love being outdoors, and I love the freedom that comes with that. My husband's a geologist too, and in fact, we started a small company over 20 years ago so that we could do geology and own our own business.
Very nice, very impressive. You said you served as a senator here at the school, is that correct?
Yeah.
For the Mackey School of Mines, yes?
I did.
So can you tell me a bit about your experience serving as a senator
Sure.
and how that has influenced you today?
Oh, sure. Well, first was the decision to run. And why does anybody run? Because they think that something needs change, that their voice needs to be heard. I decided to run. One of my friends, who was also a geologist student, ran my campaign. I got elected. There were 21 or 23 members of ASUN then. And I really enjoyed my time, and I knew it made me believe that once I finished my science career, I probably would go back into politics at some point. And so now I've worked for about 25 years in the fields of water management for government and also our own company for geology. I had an opportunity to go to graduate school here, got a master's in public administration and public policy. And while I was there, I joined the Graduate Student Association. I was elected to that. So I had 2 elected experiences here at UNR.
That's great to hear. Thank you so very much for speaking with me.
Thank you.
And I'll give it over to my associate, my classmate.
Hi, I'm Kelsey.
Hey, Kelsey, how
Nice
are you
to meet
doing?
Good, how are you?
Good.
Good. So you were elected in November 2014
Yeah.
as the city councilwoman. What do you plan on to do with your first term within Reno?
Well, a term is 4 years, so we've got a while to figure it out. When I was running, I actually spent a lot of time walking door to door to find out what is on people's mind that live in Reno. What kind of change do they want to see? And the top issues that people talked to me about were our firefighting services. They were frustrated that we had stopped being a regionalized fire. They were worried about finances in the city because there was a lot of talk about how the city was doing. And then one issue that really surprised me, but it was universal, was about blight, and especially blight downtown. So, you know, I hear, I listen, and I adjust my approach. So what I did was I made blight reduction one of my very first goals. I decided that we have a garage, a parking garage, next to our building in downtown Reno. It actually belongs to a casino, and it's very poorly maintained. It's 50 years old. I decided that we had to do something about this garage. I'd been parking in it for almost the whole 40 years on and off that I've lived here in Reno. So actually this afternoon, after this interview, my next meeting is I'm going to negotiate with the Calneva to acquire the garage and put it on City of Reno ownership and totally transform it. Paint it, stripe it, put in electric charging stations, bring in the artists, create murals, just make it a safe environment with gates, the whole thing, so that when employees come to work, they feel that the city loves them. When citizens come to participate in their city, they feel welcomed. And when new businesses are thinking about locating here to Reno, they feel that we have an open door and we're business friendly. Right now, I have actually heard anecdotes that people won't come to City Hall and that new businesses have walked into the garage and walked out and said, I'm not moving here. Wow. So that's how how important just a small thing like a
Right.
parking garage. And finally, because it is associated with the Reno, with the city, I feel that addressing blight begins at home. So we need to lead the way. We need to not be telling others what to do. We need to demonstrate our leadership.
Right, right. Thank you. And do you have any long-term goals with Reno or Ward 2?
I do. I would probably say my most overarching goal of anything specific would be listening to people. And we're already accomplishing one of those things. I used to serve on the Neighborhood Advisory Board for Ward 2. The advisory boards were done away with. Over my objection, I went to City Council. I made sure that they knew that I was not happy about this. They were still done away with, and our new mayor has decided to help me bring them back. So we passed the whole City Council unanimously passed the implementing ordinance resolution to do it. We're taking applications right now. We're open to university students, so think about it. And we're going to be kicking off the new set of meetings in July. And the whole idea is, let's make sure that the new Reno that we envision is one that our citizens want, and our citizens have, brought their ideas to the table to really make it the best that it can be.
Wow. Well, thank you. I'm going to
Yeah.
pass it on to Ellie.
You bet.
Hi.
Hi.
Nice to meet you.
Nice
I'm
to meet
Ellie
you.
McCubbins. So, I know that you are a small business owner.
Yes.
You've been co-founder and president of Desert Pacific Exploration since '95. Is that correct?
Correct. Good job on
Awesome.
research.
So, my question for you is, how is that experience as president and co-founder? How are you going to use those skills and experiences during your tenure as city councilwoman?
Well, I think, many people aspire to start their own business. They want to be their own boss. They want to call the shots. I have had that opportunity. Our business focuses on geology, on consulting, permitting, and looking for minerals. So Nevada's world famous, in fact, internationally famous for its minerals, primarily its gold. So my husband and I, over the years, have acquired a lot of mining claims. And our goal is to get investor interest in those, and then to ultimately create mineral wealth for our country. In being president, of course, I've learned a lot about doing paperwork, because
Yes.
when, that's a key part of running any business, is keeping your financial records, filing your taxes, and making sure everything's in order. Another thing I've had an opportunity to do is to go to Canada and actually meet with investors and help them, or convince them to invest in our company and in Nevada and in America. So in the mineral industry that we're in, no one in America invests in that. It's all international. So whether it's from Europe, Ireland, Great Britain, Canada, South America, the Orient, those are the people that think about minerals. We have sort of stopped thinking about minerals. And I think a really important point about this is that a lot of people are very concerned about the environment, which I am too. In fact, I even have won environmental awards. I was our state water planner, so I care about the water, conservation, the environment. But at the same time, I know that we need minerals to have our life. The cameras that are filming us today, made of metal. The car that you drove here or bike that you rode, made of metal. The computer that you're using to process this video, made of metal. All the copper wiring in the buildings, the lights that are shining us, all have metal in them. And what I get worried about, and this is just on a policy issue, I get worried that people, when they get too rigid in their ideas, they don't look at a bigger picture, and sometimes they make policies that have unintended consequences. So that's one thing that I think I'm bringing to the Reno City Council, is understanding a broader picture of the world in which we live and how everything kind of fits together, and that you really can't be this one very judgmental. I pride myself on being open-minded and listening to all points of view, even if at first thought they might, not fit with my worldview.
Right.
I know that I need to do that. So I think it's super important, especially if you're in elected office, to represent all the people.
Great, that's great. All right, I'm going to hand it over to Cassandra for the last few questions.
Sorry for the long answers,
Oh,
but
no, it was great.
you got me going on some
Yeah.
topics I care about here.
All right. Hi, Naomi.
Hey.
I'm Cassandra. Nice to
Hey,
meet
Cassandra.
you. So I wanted to talk to you a little about what you guys were actually just talking about. When you were campaigning last year, you were talking about how you wanted to help Reno grow intelligently.
Right.
In regards to the people that live here and our resources here. And as you already said, you served on the state water planner, and then also for the as the director of the Truckee River Flood Management Project.
Right.
Could you talk to me a little bit more about that and what you learned from that?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'll give you two quick examples, one from state water planning time. The goal was to establish basically the first water plan for the state of Nevada in 25 years. And so what it involved was going out to every corner of Nevada and meeting with people and talking about what's on your mind, how would you like to see the water managed differently, better, worse. And one of the lessons I learned there is, this is kind of a small detail about water, but water, if you don't use it, you can lose it. It's a basic principle of water law. And the technical terms are called abandonment and forfeiture. If you don't use it, you're considered to have abandoned it, and the state can work a forfeiture. Well, I would go around the state talking to people about, hey, since some of our basins are over appropriated, too much water is being used, how can we leave it in the resource but you still get a benefit? And I came up with an idea of credit for conservation. You conserve the water, we'll give you credit. Well, what I found is that most of the people didn't understand how water law worked, and they actually thought that I was proposing taking away their water. And so I learned that before you can even have a dialogue about policy, you have to have a uniform understanding of the facts and the laws in which you're dealing. So it's very, very important to set the stage for any kind of change that you want to work. In this, I also headed up the Truckee River Flood Project. And this was an amazing job because we looked at 50 miles of the Truckee River. The river's about 120 miles or so long from Tahoe to Pyramid. We were looking at the middle section of that and how can we manage flooding. But you can't manage flooding just, in a vacuum. You have to understand what the businesses are, where the people are, what you can and can't do, and really Mother Nature's going to make it flood or not. All you can do is manage how you react to that and how you control it so you reduce the harm. So working with people from all walks of life and different kind of interests, and included the university. The university has a big farm where a lot of the water goes when we have a flood. So I ended up having to have a lot of dialogue, communication, and actually buying land from the university. So put me close in touch with some of where the university thought they were going and where they're going today.
Wow, that's amazing. We're actually running out of time here. I would love to ask you more about that, but it seems like you're so passionate, and I know that everyone here at UNR is excited to see what you do in your first term, your first 4 years. So thank you again for meeting with us. My name is Cassandra Corey. Today I was joined by Councilwoman Naomi Duerr. Thank you again at the Reynolds School of Journalism. Have a good night.